Hey, what's up? This is Chris Gray, and you're listening to the ZiFM Sport Podcast.
Zimbabwe's finest radio. ZiFM Stereo.
It's Lionel Messi! He scored! The goal the world wanted!
It's time for the biggest sports stories.
It's Neymar trying to feed it through. It's a stretch, and it's in! And I can't remember the last time I saw something like this. Extraordinary scenes.
The biggest interviews.
It's more difficult. Obviously, it's more difficult.
And all the analysis right here.
If they play poorly, they come back, they've got all the excuses. You can't have it both ways.
Every weekday, it's my sport, it's your sport. It's ZiFM Sport. Let's join the team for the biggest show in the world of sport on ZiFM Stereo. My station, your station.
It's do or die for the Warriors as they head into Sunday's final AFCON Qualifier versus Congo Brazzaville, needing a point to book their place in Egypt. In the beautiful game, we have a couple of updates from the international break where the Dutch continue to impress neutrals, but not their coach, Ronald Koeman. Find out what that's all about a bit later in the show. And to give you that show on the nation's biggest sports show is Barry Menandi, Chris Gray, Simba Fupajena, Sean Tafirenyika, and my name is Mike Madora. It's a Friday. Strap yourselves in, make yourself a cup of coffee, grab a drink. It's going to be a good one as we build up to the weekend.
The Warriors, the Chevrons, the Cheetahs, the Mighty Warriors, and the Sables. From the pool to the track to the field, we are Team Zimbabwe. The Home Front. Local sports news and analysis.
Right, as you heard, our Warriors go in to do battle in an all-important AFCON qualifier against Congo Brazzaville at the Giant National Sports Stadium on Sunday. It's do or die, and today we've got a special for you. We build up to that match with news that Warriors Vice-Captain Ovidi Karuru believes his team need to score an early goal to settle their nerves in their do or die Africa Cup of Nations Group G qualifier against a tricky Congo Brazzaville side at the National Sports Stadium on Sunday. Zimbabwe, who topped the group with 8 points, need to avoid a defeat in the match to seal qualification to the final set for Egypt in June. Their Sunday opponents are bottom of the group with 5 points, but an outright win for them will see them snatching one of the 2 allotted tickets to the finals. Chizamba's men can also still qualify even with a defeat, but only if the match in Kinshasa ends in a draw. Let's get the pre-match thoughts of the Warriors gaffer Sunday. Mofu Chizamba.
I think most of these guys play in foreign countries, and I think they are used to this kind of games, and I think they will become for the entire 90 minutes, and I think they will do well for the nation. Both sides will be attacking. But you have to attack and defend at the same time. So we're not going to wait for them to attack us. We will also attack. We are going to play Congo Brazzaville. 11 guys from Congo and 11 guys from Zimbabwe will be fighting for 90 minutes. And we are ready to fight for the country. And I just hope and pray that we produce a good result for the country. They have good players. Most of their players play in Europe, and from what we saw in the first game, they have good players, and it's going to be a tough game for both teams. Our supporters are starved of victories, and they must come in their thousands, cheer up the boys, rally behind the boys, and help them out to win the match.
All right, quite a bit coming out of that interview and pre-match thoughts of Sunday Chizambwa. One of them being that he reckons that because our players are used to playing in high-pressure games, they'll be calm for the entire 90 minutes. And calm is what we're going to need, isn't it, Michael?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're going to have to manage this game and also manage the qualification campaign. Yeah. And by that, I mean we mustn't let the raw emotion of the afternoon get us carried away. And then we end up making the silly mistakes, playing to the gallery, trying to meet the expectations of the fans. I think the team should go and clearly follow the plan that has been outlined by the coach, what they've been practicing and what they've been training for this week. Execute that plan plan, no matter how boring it is. The objective at the end of the day is to qualify for Egypt 2019 rather than to wow and to thrill the fans. That should also come, but I believe that the game management, the match management is more important.
And talking about the match management, it means that you've got to be able to be absolutely calm no matter what is happening in the fixture and not sort of play the occasion, Simba. But you've got Ovidi Karuru talking about an early goal. How important is that?
I think it's important from the sense of, I think they're jitters. I've been looking at the log standings and we are in pole position.
Yeah.
I don't know how many nations would be in pole position and still be feeling as jittery as we are. So for that particular reason, I think just to calm everybody else's nerves, to say we are a nation that has benefited from qualifying from the back door, so to speak. So we know that the permutations are still possible for everybody else to, kind of leapfrog us in a really agonizing way. So that's the only thing. So an early goal then widens the permutations of us going through. And what Mike was saying, don't play the occasion and just, execute the plan. I think there's room for playing to the gallery, but only when you're like 3-0 up and with a few minutes. So earn the right to do that. Don't go in that wanting to play to the gallery from the get-go, because that gallery can quickly turn against you.
And that gallery can be an advantage and a disadvantage. We hear Sunday Chidzambo talking about the fact that he wants the fans to turn up in their thousands, and no doubt they will. Not sure how the pre-sale tickets sales are going, but nonetheless, we are anticipating that we're going to have pretty much a big crowd at the National Sports Stadium. However, like Simba points out, that crowd can be for you and can be against you should things go wrong. And also that tension that's in the stands can easily filter to the field and onto the players and begin to make the occasion a little bit unbearable.
Absolutely. I think that's the pressure that comes with a national team game. I think it's very different when you're playing for clubs. This is a lot more pride, a lot more is at stake for the eyes of the entire country. In fact, 2 countries are watching this particular match. So you have to perform, and what we need to avoid is an almost individualistic nature of I want to perform, people must see me in this particular game, which is something that could happen when you have a bunch of star players that you've brought together. So just that raw emotion filtering down, they need to manage that very carefully just as players.
And talking about the players themselves, the selection conundrum in inverted commas that faces Sunday Chidzambwa is a little bit easier this time. He's got a full squad to choose from, barring of course Marvelous Nakamba, who isn't able to play because of injury, but you got Butelezwe Ngube, who's a new inclusion, good player at Amazulu. Good chance for him if he gets a shout.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a number of the positions will pick themselves, but Barry, the player that you've mentioned is missing, Marvelous Nakamba, is a very important member of the team, integral part of our midfield. And our midfield, I believe, has been our weakest department. That's the department where we haven't had a lot of cohesion. That's where we've chopped and changed. We've even tried Willard Katsande, brought him in from an absolutely atrocious season in South Africa to try him, because we thought, we could bank on his experience. He's shown that he doesn't have the legs for big performances as he showed versus the Democratic Republic of Congo. And so we've dropped him, brought in young Butolezwi from Amazulu, and he's been doing very well in the ABSA Premiership. But there's a difference between international football and club football. He's a very exciting prospect, and that's what he remains as until he's selected. Would love to see a situation where, because he's been put in the squad, he's actually given the nod so we can see what he can do. I remember Reinhard Fabish doing that with Norman Mapeza. Norman Mapeza was a young upstart, a young player full of potential, but what did Reinhard Fabish do? He threw him in the deep end immediately, and he was able to perform. There was none of this blooding him in, let's give him 7 minutes at the end of the game to see what he can do. They just gave him the responsibility. That's why I was disappointed last time out with Rodwo Chinyengete. Having been called to the national team, he was bang on form, scoring goals, and I thought he would start. A player like that, you need to start him. Rodwo is the type of player that will work himself into a game, and then he'll try and do something later on in the game, as all good players do. But for him to come in the 15th with 15 minutes to go, 10 minutes to go, you're asking too much of a player to prove his quality in 10 or 15 minutes.
And we heard the thoughts there, Sims, of Coach Mike Madoda. We know exactly the coach we're speaking of, and that is Sunday Chidzambwa. a man who, in all truth, I reckon he eats the same thing for supper 6 or 7 days a week. Doesn't like to change, and chances are he would rather probably move for a midfield that contains Marshall Munetsi sooner than Blood-in Buthelezwi Ncube, which is
Danny Deco Piri back as well.
Back in that midfield. So chances are we're likely to see that fulcrum of Munetsi and Piri reunited at that in that defensive role.
I agree, and I think similar to how we've spoken about the need to not necessarily play the occasion, start to play to the gallery. I feel the selection also needs to point in that sort of direction. Once you start to almost experiment at this late stage, the nerves that you're talking
about.
You're
backing Sunday. You wanted to. Don't. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Exactly. It's getting to the point where, for me at least, everybody else needs to create that comfort level for these other people to come in. I know Mike is talking about Norman Mapeza, but I feel that era had a different sort of vibe to it.
So Admiral Musquet out of Leicester.
But how much of an experiment is it if you're bringing in 2 players? If the spine of the team remains the same.
If the spine of the team remains the same, I'm happy with that. It's just in those crucial elements. So if you're not tampering with the spine, then it's okay. However, if that spine is tempered with that, and we mentioned the midfield, and that midfield is exactly that particular part of the field that we can't keep experimenting with. We've spoken about Bute coming in, and it's almost like the experience was what was needed. But he wasn't able to deliver that because his legs are gone.
Exactly.
So those jitters might still keep coming through.
Zimbabwe is still sitting in pole position after 5 games, 8 points at the top of Group G, and second is the DRC on 6 points, and third is Congo Brazzaville, our opponents, on Sunday with 5 points, and then Liberia is in fourth on 5 points as well as Congo. So it's all to be played for on Sunday. We'll see how it goes.
I'm Sande Chidzambwa, the Zimbabwe national team's head coach, and you are listening to ZiFM Sport.
Let's give you some local sports news updates before we continue with our Warriors special. In rugby news, Zimbabwe has announced the squad lists for the 4 teams taking part in the 3rd edition of the Kwese Sevens tournament at the Machinery Exchange Stadium at Harare Sports Club this weekend. Zambezi Cheetahs head coach Gilbert Nyamutsamba says the tournament is opportune time to showcase Zimbabwe's array of upcoming players. Cheetahs captain Stefan Hunduza reiterated his coach's sentiments, saying that it benefits the team to have a wider variety of competent options for selection. In cricket news, Zimbabwe has picked a 27-man training squad ahead of the one-day international series at home to the United Arab Emirates next month. Apart from experienced campaigners such as Captain Hamilton Masakadza, Brendan Taylor, Craig Irvine, Sikandar Raza Butt and Alton Chigumbura, the squad also includes the uncapped trio of Ainsley Ndlovu, Charles Kunje and Tony Munyonga, who have been rewarded for their impressive performances during the just-ended domestic season. And we wrap it up with netball, where the Zimbabwe senior women's netball team, the Gems, have lined up international friendlies as part of the preparations for the July World Cup in Liverpool, England. The preparations for the World Cup will see the team travelling to Uganda for matches on the 26th and 29th of April. After that, they will tour South Africa between the 13th and 20th of May. That same month, the Zimbabwe Gems will then travel to Namibia for the Netball 20 Series tournament. The tournament will have a strong field with teams such as South Africa, Uganda, Malawi and Sri Lanka taking part.
Qualcomm, the home of great food, celebrates its 75th birthday. As a thank you to all our customers, we have amazing price cuts on all your favorite products. Enjoy unbelievably reduced prices on our frozen boerewors, breakfast and ready-to-eat sausages. Celebrate 75 years of wholesome and tasty goodness. Available at all leading retail stores and Qualcomm shops nationwide. Qualcomm, 75 years of greatness.
Tiles is celebrating its 25th anniversary, and we are slashing prices by up to 20% on all our ceramic tiles, porcelain tiles and our laminate flooring. Yes, you heard right, 20%. Visit us at 5 Samora Michelle Avenue and our state-of-the-art showroom and fully stocked warehouse at 80 Simon Mazoredze Road. Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Don't miss out on this crazy offer. Hurry while stocks last.
Need mileage for your business? La Decima Print House is your all-in-one printing solution. Your one-stop shop litho printing for all your flyers, brochures, newsletters, church posters, company profiles, annual reports, all quick BizHub digital stationery printing, dissertations and general, photocopying services, HP large format printer for office signage branding, vehicle branding, and banners, DTG M6 industrial digital t-shirt and fabric printing, corporate gifts, and many more. La Decima Print House has packages that can be tailor-made to suit your business's unique printing needs. To place your order, call La Decima Print House on 0772-413-603 or 242-446-466 or visit us at Unit 9B, 75 Roberts Drive, Masasa, Harare. La Decima Print House. If you can think it, we can ink it.
Here we go again.
Enjoy world-class radio online. ZiFM Stereo is available on TuneIn. Search for ZiFM Stereo and you got it.
Fan Zone. Get in touch with the team and have your say your way.
Operator.
The Warriors in action on a Sunday, and we've been building up to that important AFCON qualifier, the final one, to see if Zimbabwe can make it to their fourth AFCON at Egypt 2019. Our WhatsApp number is 0731 168 045, 0731 168 045. Send in your predictions, your thoughts, your views on Sunday Chizambwa's Warriors, and also send in your hashtags so that you can be in the running for the ProFeeds Daily Sports Trivia. Twitter and Facebook, follow and interact with @ZFM Sport.
Now let's start on our WhatsApp number, and Mike in Bulawayo has written in. He says, "Go Warriors, go! I'm happy Karma won't play in those shoes he was wearing." Messi. You know what? People need to. I think Karma actually looked quite trendy. I think it's a trend that's going on.
They didn't go with the rest of the outfit.
In as much as they're very trendy shoes, he was on trend. We'll give him that. But those shoes are ugly.
But they're ugly, expensive. That's why
they're Balenciaga, but they are.
That's what everybody's
they're like what?
buying.
£600?
Yeah, around 600 to 1,000.
And that was the statement being made.
I like them.
You rock it with a suit.
No, with a suit.
There we go.
There we go.
He wasn't wearing them with the suit. He was wearing them going into Form A. Wore the suit.
So why did everyone else have formal
Why
shoes?
did everyone else have formal shoes on?
He opted out.
He just wanted to show us his shoes. He just wanted to say, Zimbabwe, I've got them.
Mikey, if you or I were wearing 695-pound shoes, we wouldn't take them off either. Corsi in Mulaya says, I wouldn't trust Karma Billiat in matches like this. I think he's a misfit, just like Sanchez of Manchester United. Discuss.
No, I think that's a bit harsh because Karma has been known to win matches.
Yes.
He puts in some performances and it looks like he's been getting back to some sort of form. He scored a cracker this past weekend. And so if he's come with confidence, if he's come when he's fully fit, I think Karma will be of use to Zimbabwe. He's a very skillful player, able to create chances for others and also able to take them.
Yeah,
I think people are comparing Karma in the last Warriors game to Karma what he is now after all of his, I'll call it recovery, in the South African Premier League. So I think there's that distinction of he was in a bit of a rough space and he's come out of it now, and let's compare him to his game that he played last week and not the last time that the Warriors were
and I think for me that's key as well, because like what Mike and you, Chris, have alluded to, the fact that he's coming in with a bit of momentum means he's not going to be trying so hard at that national stage to prove that how good he is. It's just that momentum that he's already got from the club side that's just going to hopefully transcend into the national team.
Can I throw in one more thing, guys? The surface at the National Sports Stadium. If you remember the last game versus the DRC, the grass was like knee-high.
Yes.
You know, and it didn't do the ball players any good whatsoever. So he couldn't play his game because he thrives on a really good surface, you know, where he can move and he can pass the ball. So we hope that the surface is going to be a lot better than the one that they had for for the DRC.
My challenge, Mike, is that we don't prepare decks in this country. We don't actually consult the technical team.
So you reckon Mofu hasn't given an instruction?
No!
It's the groundsman at the National Sports Stadium.
He couldn't get in the stadium, remember?
Yeah, I'm thinking, Mofu, technical team, are we still in Zim? Instruction?
That
level of coordination. Someday.
Zimbabwe will win. Boratori Ziva, we should have beaten this Congo team had a clear goal not been disallowed. So you reckon we're going to do the business against this Congo side? This one says 18,000 tickets sold so far. Pakaipa wena zifa dai vato tengesa ma tickets paged tapindao takawanda. That's from Nyati in South Lee Park.
Yeah, that's a point. I think whilst commendable the effort to have pre-sales of tickets, and I think it was a good development, but they shouldn't have immediately cut the sale at the gate. I think they needed to have had a gradual phase of phasing out of that system where you're able to go and purchase your tickets at the gate, because the tradition in Zimbabwe has been that most of the fans that you get attending the matches are guys who are going to come and pay at the gate. So there is the potential, if they stick rigidly to this, that they might not get as big a crowd as they could have got. And also if they stick rigidly to the fact that they say that they're going to be closing the gates at 1:30.
No, there's going to be a bit of ruckus there. I don't think closing the gates at 1:30 p.m. is going to work out in the way that they would imagine. I'm sure they're trying to do it for some sort of order and everyone's settling down before the festivities begin. But I think that might just backfire. I think the last time we were at the National Sports Stadium, we saw exactly what Zimbabweans are capable of. You tell them they can't get in and you've closed the gates, the Zimbabweans going to make a plan regardless. So some of these things will backfire.
And also if I buy a ticket and I bought it early, I bought it 2 months early, I expect to be able to arrive there 10 minutes before kickoff and walk into the stadium.
I've earned the right to come at whatever time.
Yes, I've earned the right.
And I think for me, the issue is I've been giving them the benefit of the doubt, hoping that by now they would have announced if there are any curtain raisers, some entertainment that make it worth my while to actually think, if I get there at 1:30, there'll be something to entertain.
However, lucky to get the police
but
back.
Zifa has said that there will be a host of local and international acts.
Be specific. Be specific.
Those ball jugglers that they have.
You see, there are certain crowd pullers that I'm saying right now, if the 18,000 ticket sales is anything to go by, mention, name drop. Tell me somebody is going to be doing something this time.
A host of international.
What are the names?
I want to know what I'm paying for. That's
exactly.
Like order a pizza.
Don't surprise me and then I'm there and then I'm tweeting. I'm texting everybody saying, Ningia Zoya, dear part of my host. No,
guys. You guys are too demanding. And when Chris said Zimbabweans always make a plan, some of those Zimbabweans who make a plan are in this room. We shan't mention names. They made a plan last time. Wisdom Makovere, I wonder if he's related to Shepherd Makovere. In Harare says this: wishing all the best of luck to the Warriors on Sunday. Thumbs up to Zifa for pre-ticket sales. Hopefully it'll be smooth at the gates. Just bought my 2 tickets for the game. At what level did you buy your tickets, Wisdom? Let us know.
Zimbabwe's finest radio. ZiFM Stereo.
International Sports News Roundup, where the world comes out to play.
Around the world in 60 seconds. International sports news.
We take off in Switzerland, where the Court of Arbitration for Sports ruling on the case between Caster Semenya and the IAAF has been delayed until the end of April after the submission of new evidence. South African track star Semenya is challenging a proposal by the IAAF to limit testosterone levels in female athletes competing between 400 meters and a mile. CAS previously scheduled the final decision for the 26th of March. However, due to both parties filing additional submissions and materials, an agreement has been made to postpone the ruling until the end of April with no specific date currently set. Over to New Zealand, the Blues snapped a 3-year losing streak against New Zealand teams as they beat the Highlanders 33-26 in an emotional Super Rugby encounter. A week after the Christchurch attacks, both teams linked arms in a minute's silence to honor the victims of last Friday's shootings at 2 mosques, which left 50 people dead. The evening ended in celebration for the Blues, who had gone 20 games without a win against New Zealand opposition since they beat the Highlanders 33 93-31 in February 2016. Your week in Super Rugby fixtures: Hurricanes versus Stormers. The Waratahs will be taking on the Crusaders. The Sunwolves will be up against the Lions. The Bulls versus the Chiefs. The Sharks against the Rebels. And the Reds will take on the Brumbies.
ZiFM Stereo is untouchable.
Well, you take a tap in these circumstances.
The Daily Sports Trivia question is brought to you by Profeeds. Profeeds, your feed and farm professionals.
It's competition time courtesy of Profeeds. What's at stake? You could win yourself a 4-plate Capri gas stove and oven only if you have sent us a WhatsApp message with the hashtag Profeeds Trivia. Our second draw of the year will be on Friday, the 29th of March. And I do believe we do have one lucky caller.
We do. Hi, Kelly.
Hi, Miss Gray. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How's Gweru?
First name basis there. Hi,
Listen, we know each other, okay? We know each other from the WhatsApp. So, Kelly, I have 2 questions for you. If you're not a sports fan, I'm hoping you're good at guessing.
Okay.
Your first question: how many times have the Warriors qualified for the Africa Cup of Nations? Is it 5 times, 4 times, or 3 times?
Is it 5?
Okay, you get one more chance because I like you.
Here's a clue. The Warriors haven't been great at qualifying for the Africa Cup of Nations.
Sorry?
They haven't been great at qualifying for the Africa Cup of Nations.
Okay, it's C.
That is correct. One more question for you, and then you'll qualify for that draw for the 4-plate Capri gas stove and oven. The Crusaders, the Hurricanes, the Chiefs, and the Blues are from which Super Rugby nation?
May I have a clue?
A clue.
The land of the long white cloud.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a good clue. Take a guess, Kelly.
The land.
Think rugby. Think rugby. Think who dominates rugby.
Yeah, that's a better one.
Yeah, that's a better clue.
Dominates rugby.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Kelly.
Or think of this delicious fruit.
Yes.
Which is also a bird.
These ones aren't even
Kiwi. We're making it hard.
Oh my God.
The
Kelly,
kiwi
come
fruit.
on. Come on, Kelly.
The kiwi fruit. The land of the fern.
It's been on the news a lot lately, this country.
And it's not Mozambique or Zimbabwe.
Yes. The third country that's been in the news.
The people in the studio
Is
are
it
all
South
black.
It's over, Kelly. I was rooting for you, girl.
Okay.
All right, Kelly. Thanks for playing. On behalf of Profeeds, we are happy to let you know, though, that we'll be holding our Profeeds Arlington International from the 12th to the 14th of April. This is a premier event in the eventing equine calendar with 6 countries, including Zimbabwe, competing. The other countries are Zambia, South Africa, Kenya, Swaziland, and Namibia. We are expecting between 130 and 150 competitors in the various categories.
Everyone is welcome to enjoy 3 days of high-octane entertainment with lots of thrills and hopefully no spills on offer. Bring your umbrellas, chairs, and come and enjoy what is on offer from Africa's finest equine athletes. Entry will be RTGS $5 per head each day, and full bar and catering will be available.
Well, you take a tap in these circumstances.
The Daily Sports Trivia question was brought to you by Profeeds. Profeeds, the performance feed.
Ungachayela ikhanda ngendaba yokuswelakala kwemali. Ubukwazi na ukuthi uyakwanisa ukukhipha imali yakho esebhanga ukuthi ingene esikhwameni sakho se-Telecash usebenzisa iZipits. Lokhu kwenzeka uma ungahamba ebhanga lakho uyengena kuhlelo lo-mobile banking ukuze usebenzise iZipits. Nxa usungenile kuhlelo lolu uyakwanisa ukuthenga i-airtime yefonini yakho kanye lokuthengela izihlobo labangane. Akupheleli lapho, ulakho ukusebenzisa ikhadi lakho le-Telecash Gold Card kuyo yonke imitshina ye-ZimSwitch ukuthenga ukudla, ugesi, ukubhadala insurance yakho, izikwelete zikakhansili, lokunye nje okunenginengi. Kalula nje ngokuphazima kwelihlo. Sebenzisa iTelecash ungatshayela ikhanda ngendaba yokuswelakala kwemali.
Go cashless with Telecash. Call 153 for more details. So go ahead.
Tell someone. Quest Play is unlike TV. Quest Play, stay entertained all day.
Get your Kwese Play device for just $59. Kwese Play. It's unlike TV.
Stay up to date with the latest sporting action and the freshest lineup of on-demand sports on Kwese iFlix. Immerse yourself. Bask in the glory of pulsating action anywhere, anytime. Welcome to the beautiful game on ZiFM Stereo. Brought to you by Kwese iFlix.
Kwese iFlix. Entertainment on the go. The beating drum. The roaring fans. Take a ride on the wild side with the Africa Report on ZiFM Sport.
It's the final round of the 2019 Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers, and the weekend is shaping up to be a frantic scramble for 10 spots, still up for grabs for some, the likes of South Africa and Angola. Their tasks of qualifying seems easier, needing to hang on to the point they'll start off with on the day, compared to teams like Mozambique, Namibia, Lesotho and Tanzania, who must win to guarantee them making the showpiece event in Egypt. South Africa, who occupy second spot in Group E, are away to Nomads Libya and will return to the grand stage of continental football should they hold the Mediterranean Knights to a stalemate. A victory will be a bonus, but defeat would mean a second successive AFCON tournament watched from the comfort of their couches by Bafana forward Percy Tau says his team can deliver the goods and qualify.
The mood is good. Everyone is looking forward to the match, and we're trying to get a good mood before the match so that we get the points that we need. But then everyone is excited to be here, and then we just want to get rolling. I never put pressure on myself. I never think there's pressure, because we 11 guys on the pitch and everyone has a role to play, and I'm always on the lucky side that I have to finish the goals, but then everyone has a role to play, and then we're excited that we've been handed those roles, and then we just roll with that.
It's not a gimme for South Africa, but you got to think to yourself, if they show up and do what they ought to, they can get a victory against Libya, can't they, Bunch?
Yeah, I think they can do it. When you look at their team, I don't know why they are struggling, but when you look at them playing, they're actually easy to the eye. They play good football. They are very technical. I'm sure that if they go and play their normal game, they only struggle with goals, but they play well. So if they can manage to score one or two, I think Libya won't come back. They are a much better team.
Can I suggest a reason as to why I think South Africa have struggled?
Yeah.
They simply haven't done what they're supposed to, which is go out and get a world-class coach. South Africa has got everything a world-class coach needs. They can afford him they can give him a professional working environment. They can give him the proper infrastructure. They can give him a very comfortable place to stay. He can choose to stay in Durban, in Cape Town, in Port Elizabeth, in Sandton, in Centurion. He can, wherever he wants, he can choose to stay in a house. He can stay in an apartment. He can do whatever he wants. He's not going to miss out on the comforts of Europe or South America or wherever he's coming from. That's what South Africa needs right now, because sometimes you take a look at the talent that's on offer in South Africa, and then you take a look at some of the squad selections that they make and team selections, and you're thinking, what are these guys thinking? What are they doing? Players like Demikosi Loch, for him not to be even in the squad, yet he's one of the most exciting players in South Africa, just for me tells me that, sometimes they don't have the coaches with an eye for the players that they're actually supposed to have. They can have a team that can match anyone on the continent right now.
Yeah, you're very right. You remember they got Alberto Pereira, Carlos Alberto Pereira. At that time, they afforded him. He was actually a World Cup winner at that time, and for me, I think they actually did well in the 2010 World Cup. They played good football, and after that, they started Sheikh Mashaba.
Yes, the local. Local always isn't lekker.
But yeah, they need a world-class coach.
Even if they don't get like a top-tier European coach, why can't they get a Hervé Renard, one of these experienced African campaigns?
One that's one.
And Hervé Renard he loves his women in South Africa. In South Africa, my friends, he would strip and walk around the streets of Sandton naked.
Are these the comforts you were talking about?
And like Reinhard Fabish.
Those are some of them.
Reinhard Fabish and Rena, they're rhyming.
There we go.
Also love this women.
Oh, all right. There we go. So it is one of the considerations. I mean, any coach that you see with a crisp white shirt and buttoned at the top.
Beware.
Yeah, beware.
Oh my God. Anyway. Okay, where do I go from here? Let's leave South Africa. Let's try that. Now, home fixture against bottom of the group, Botswana, should make Angola's qualification a foregone conclusion. But stranger things have happened in football, and the Palancas Negras must secure a point in order to shoot down Burkina Faso's challenge and guarantee themselves progression to the finals. Angola sorely need to qualify for these finals, Simba, in order for them to become the team that we know them to be, that powerhouse of Southern African football that they used to be.
Yeah, we remember them from way back in the day, that time when I think Alois was alluding to, when Reinhard Fabish was our coach. They were that sort of power. They didn't always seem to get it right on the continental stage, but they were always kind of qualifying.
But
always
Southern Africa,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But now I think they've actually opened up the way for teams like Botswana to start fancying themselves.
Yeah.
The quality is there. Their club setup is much better than the one in Botswana. But because Botswana has actually tasted, the AFCON before, you won't go into there just assuming that it's a gimme. However, when you just talk about the pedigree of the two teams, you give it to Angola.
And also, Botswana's got a crisp new Umbro kit, unlike others. On to the AFCON qualification matches. Nigeria is taking on Seychelles at the moment. It's currently 3-1 in favor of Nigeria. Seychelles getting an equalizer, making it 1-1 at halftime. But in the second half, the Super Eagles have run away with it, scoring some brilliant goals and brilliant team build-up. So it looks like that one's going one way. Botswana versus Angola, Guinea-Bissau versus Mozambique, Zambia versus Namibia, Ghana versus Kenya, Cape Verde versus Lesotho, Tanzania versus Uganda, and Libya versus South Africa.
The Beautiful Game, brought to you by Kwese.
Turn your TV into an entertainment hub and choose what you want to watch with the all-new Kwese Play device. You can enjoy seamless entertainment streaming on apps such as Kwese iFlix, Netflix, YouTube, and Al Jazeera. You can watch unlimited online entertainment from live sport events, movies, series, top kids shows, and even play games on video channels. Get your Kwese Play device today at zwstore.kwese.com, or you can visit your nearest Econet shop for only $59.
Give it to me!
$1 million up for grabs and prizes? Now here's something to shout about. Everybody is guaranteed to win in the Kwese iFlix $1 million promotion with a jaw-dropping $1 million worth of prizes up for grabs, ranging from cars, cash, smartphones, airtime, and more. Dial *143#. Buy a Kwese iFlix bundle from as little as $1 and enjoy over 3,000 movies and series on the Kwese iFlix app. Claim your share of $1 million in the Kwese iFlix $1 million promotion. Kwese iFlix, entertainment on the go.
The Beautiful Game, brought to you by Kwese.
From Africa, let's go to Europe, where qualification for Euro 2020 has begun in earnest, and there were some key results last night. Austria losing at home to Poland 1-0. Guess who scored? Piatek! Well, he's bang on form, isn't he? Slovakia 2-0 over Hungary, Croatia 2-1 victors over Azerbaijan, and Belgium getting the better of Russia 3-1. The key weekend matches: England takes on the Czech Republic, Portugal versus Ukraine, Albania will take in Turkey, Moldova hosts France, Sweden versus Romania, Spain entertains Norway, Italy versus Finland, Wales versus Slovakia, and the pick of the fixtures will see Holland taking on Germany.
The Netherlands welcome Germany to the Johan Cruyff Arena on Sunday night, hoping to make it 2 wins from 2 at the beginning of the Euro 2020 qualifying campaign. Ronald Koeman's men will be determined to reach the next European Championship after Dick Advocaat failed to make the previous tournament. While the Netherlands are enjoying a renaissance, having reached the semi-finals of the UEFA Nations League, Germany are in disarray. They went out of the group stages at last year's World Cup and were relegated from their Nations League group.
On to England, who kick off the Euro 2020 qualifying campaign with a home tie against Czech Republic at Wembley tonight. Gareth Southgate's Three Lions are still riding a wave of euphoria after following their dramatic qualification for the UEFA Nations League finals back in November. And Friday night's match is one of 2 games to prepare for this year's finals in France. But while other potentially a potentially glorious summer awaits. Southgate will be keen for his players to focus on the task at hand and ensure they pick up 3 points before Monday's trip to Montenegro. Former England defender Danny Mills says Gareth Southgate is solely responsible for the current crop of youngsters coming through and thriving.
We've got a lot of good young players coming through. Obviously, Gareth knows these young players. He was involved in the England youth setup all the way through. That production line, knowing these players, knowing their talents, and now because they've got game time, because they've got experience, he feels that they're ready for a full international. Having known all those players through the youth system, through the under-21s, knowing their abilities, his only issue was they haven't played enough football. But now you've got all these young players starting to get regular games, Rashford, Sancho, coming to the fore. He's given them a chance, this new freedom. They can go out and express themselves. And actually, it's quite refreshing to see an England team wanting to play good, exciting football.
Guys, your thoughts on this really young England side?
Yeah, lots of young players.
Lots of
Jadon Sancho, Callum Hudson-Odoi, Declan Rice. I'm particularly excited about him. He's come out of the West Ham system, and of course Trent Alexander-Arnold is already a fully fledged England international. He's under the age of 21. If you talk about the guys who are now in the early 20s, Raheem Sterling, Dele Alli, Ben Chilwell, guys like that. So England has got a lot of young talents, and like what Alois was saying, I think a couple of days ago, was that Qatar 2022, England will be ripe for a proper assault on the World Cup.
Yeah, very true. You know, they have the youngsters. You just didn't mention Marcus Rashford.
Yeah.
You know,
No, because I think he's now sort of like established. He's established.
He's still a youngster, just like Arnold. But yeah, you know, they've got a squad, and for 2022 Qatar, I see them. But Gareth Southgate didn't produce them. You know, they were produced by the clubs.
Yeah.
He was in the youth system. He knows them very well. That's the beauty of it. He knows them. He has watched them develop. So he is actually the right person to be leading those youngsters.
I think that's what's caused most of the frustration for a lot of people that are saying, we haven't seen these youngsters performing at club level, so how can you start calling them up at an international level?
Yes.
The fact that he knows them from those age group levels is the reason why.
And of course, apart from those Euro 2020 qualifiers, if you want to watch some international friendlies, we can tell you that Argentina head coach Lionel Scaloni has confirmed that Messi will start against Venezuela tonight, ending his 9-month absence from the national side. So other notable international friendlies will see Peru take on Paraguay, Mexico versus Chile, Brazil will take on Panama.
The Beautiful Game, brought to you by Kwese.
Remember that you can turn your TV into an entertainment hub and choose what you want to watch with the all-new Kwese Play device. You can enjoy seamless entertainment streaming on apps such as Kwese iFlix, Netflix, YouTube, and Al Jazeera. You can watch unlimited online entertainment from live sport events, movies, series, top kids shows, and you can even play games on Video Channel. You want to get your Kwese Play device today at zwstore.kwese.com or your nearest Econet shop for only $59.
It says, go Warriors, go. That's what we need. Warriors, go do it. Fans, go to the stadium. Let's back our boys. May God richly bless you. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Manandi, out.
Catch all your favorite sporting action on Kwese iFlix. Download Kwese iFlix today on Google Play Store or Apple App Store and enjoy entertainment on the go. That was The Beautiful Game, brought to you by Kwese iFlix.
Kwese iFlix, entertainment on the go.